existing democratic institutions are creaky, and we're going to have to reform them.
So let's ask about the creaky or not institutions in the United States.
Yeah.
The spectacle of a former president being federally indicted. How is the rest of the world, the democratic world, maybe even the non-democratic world, meant to interpret that indictment and indeed the fact that a federal indictee is able to run for the highest office in the land, maybe even the world?
It's less than ideal. But the fact that we have a former president who is having to answer to charges brought by prosecutors does uphold the basic notion that nobody's above the law. And the allegations will now be sorted out through a court process. And I think I'm more concerned when it comes to the United States with the fact that not just one particular individual is being accused of undermining existing laws, but that more broadly we've seen, whether it's through the gerrymandering of districts, whether it's trying to silence critics through changes in the legislative process, whether it's attempts to intimidate the press, a strand of anti-democratic sentiment that we've seen in the United States. It's something that is right now most prominent in the Republican Party, but I don't think it's something that is unique to one party. I think there is a less tolerance for ideas that don't suit us, and it's sort of the habits of a free and open exchange of ideas, and the idea that we all agree to the rules of the game, and even if the outcomes aren't always the ones we like, we still abide by those rules. I think that's weakened since I left office, and we're going to need to strengthen them again.
Okay, I have a bit of a, so I have a bit of a problem with what Obama just said, because although I agree with him, it's very clear. We can see the difference between the parties, and we can see the divide, and we can see where the country is. But as far as the Constitution goes and all the holes that are in it, all the loopholes that people exploit, people like me have been saying this for ages. Like, the Constitution was written over 200 years ago. It's got problems. Our American government has problems. We've been saying that for a long time. Now, I know a lot of you guys aren't going to agree with me because you love Obama, and I get that. Trust me, I was at the Obama inauguration, so I loved what Obama was standing for back then. He was a voice of the people. I agreed with that. In many ways, I still do with the ideals of this country, but we're in a very different situation, and it calls for some very different tactics. In many cases, I feel like Michelle Obama has spoken out about the issues more than former President Obama have. Now, you might not agree with that. I get that, but the situation is what it is. President Obama saw this stuff happening while he was in presidency. He saw it up close. He did absolutely nothing about it. Agree with it or not, that's my opinion. What's yours?